Just under 3 years ago, Inter came to the Della in the midst of a two-horse title race, lost the match, and would end up losing the Scudetto. So the Nerazzurri want to change the narrative in this part of the world. Bologna held Inter's title rivals Napoli in their most recent home game, but the Rossoblu want maximum points tonight so they can keep dreaming of a second straight season in the Champions League. It is a sellout at the Della on this Easter Sunday. Bologna very strong on their own patch. Inter's recent efforts on their travels have left a lot to be desired. It's another big game in the title race. It is Bologna against Inter, with Napoli watching on with keen interest, having beaten Monza last night. Can Inter get the job done and move once again 3 points clear at the summit? Plenty of respect between the two head coaches, Vincenzo Italiano and Simone Inzaghi, but Italiano has only beaten Inzaghi once, and that came during his time with Fiorentina a couple of years ago now. That match was at the Meazza. Says a lot about what an emerging force Bologna are in the Italian game, that arguably they're one of the most feared opponents for teams in the Italian top flight at the moment. And Italiano goes with 4 changes to the team that began their loss at Atalanta. In come Holm, Ebischer, Dominguez and Odgaard. The latter had a brief spell with the Inter under-19 side earlier in his career. It's Thijs Dallinga with Santiago Castro only 50% fit. And Ravaglia continues between the sticks. Skorupski was injured here against Napoli. Simone Inzaghi picks 9 of the 11 that saw off Bayern on Wednesday. Di Marco is not 100% fit, so Carlos Augusto plays. And with Thuram injured, Correa makes only a 4th start of the season. There are milestone appearances, meanwhile, for Acerbi and Barella, 400 and 300, respectively, in Serie A. Dan and Doy scored a wonderful flicked finish here against Napoli. Lautaro Martinez making his mark in the Champions League quarterfinals. Inter have not put a foot wrong on their 3 fronts so far. The only trophy they let slip away, the Super Cup against Milan in January when they were 2-0 up, lest we forget, in that match. An Easter Sunday with serious repercussions in the title race and indeed in the battle for Champions League football. We're up and running at the Della. And Inter immediately under pressure from Bologna. Manuel Pascali, where's this game going to be won and lost? Good evening once again.
Good evening, Patrick.
Lautaro Martinez, and Ravaglia had to push it behind. Bologna wanted the flag. It is a corner, however.
That's probably why Simone Inzaghi picked Correa. They will play into the pockets, and here Cialanoglu immediately found his skipper who tried to lob Ravaglia. Didn't find the target.
In by Çalhanoğlu and headed just wide by Carlos Augusto.
Yeah, before the match we were talking about how dangerous he is. Look, this is part of set piece routine with Carlos Augusto attacking the front area.
Miranda strikes the free kick. It was never troubling Sommer.
Yeah, that was a promising position. Too high from Miranda, number 33.
Emil Holm. Taking on Mkhitaryan. Holm's cross, not properly cleared. And Ndoye rushed the shot.
Yeah, Bologna putting Inter under massive pressure, especially in the wide areas. With the chain working well, Ndoye didn't connect the ball properly. Inter needs to stay calm.
Here goes Ndoye, too strong for Carlos Augusto. Still Dan Ndoye. Sommer just about had it covered.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Sommer...
Bastoni didn't go and get it. Odegaard. Bologna have numbers here. This is Dan Ndoye. Back it goes, and easy for Sommer to save from Ebischer. Time and space for Dalinga to turn. Now it's Ndoye. He's quicker than Acerbi. Ndoye round the side, and the block is all important to deny Dalinga.
It's all coming from mistake in a pressure game where Mkhitaryan left Ebischer with the ball. Then look this ball. Then if you beat one pressure, then you're able to find the right passes, and here Pavard saved Sommer, I think.
Good work from Barella. Mkhitaryan has found Çalhanoğlu. Lautaro in the channel. It's back for Barella. Still Nicolo Barella, and now Carlos Augusto. This time Holm channels Pavard.
Chance after chance. After Bologna won, now Inter. Good job here by Barella. Carlos Augusto probably was looking to find Mkhitaryan in the box.
In by Çalhanoğlu, and it's just over the top, into so dangerous from corners. Bastoni with his head in his hands.
Yeah, as usual, in swinger from Çalhanoğlu. Great quality. Look, all the four players, Inter players, are attacking the front area. I think Bastoni with his back probably.
In it comes from Çalhanoğlu, flicked on by Bastoni. Pavard is there. Correa waits. Over the top, and again the flag goes up for offside. The half-time whistle has gone in the meantime. Dan Ndoye teeing up Thijs Dalinga, the closest we came to a Bologna goal, into threatening from several set pieces, but they haven't yet broken down Bologna. If they are to get the win to keep them 3 points clear of Napoli, the goal or goals will have to come after the interval. At the break, Bologna 0, Inter 0. Gianni Morandi is here. An old Italian crooner. If you're not familiar with some of his songs, then I'd certainly recommend Fatti mandare dalla mamma a prendere il latte or In ginocchio da te. As things stand, Inter are going clear at the top once again, but only a point ahead of Napoli. To change that, they need to try and break down this Bologna side. But fatigue will be a factor in the second half. Manuel Pascali and Dominguez immediately letting Pavard know that he's around. Trying to cause an issue for Inter here. Played through for Benja Dominguez, who tried to bend it. Just didn't get the curl. Quick thinking though from the Rosso Blu.
Yeah, spotted Dominguez completely unmarked. Mkhitaryan is the one that has to be closer, because if he receives the ball in the box, then really troubles for Inter. Because look, here it's not bending the way we would love to.
Vincenzo Italiano and I think Massimiliano Farris, who's the Inter assistant head coach. I think they've both been issued with red cards there. Riccardo Ferri is there as Inter's representative. Italiano, I think, now asking the fourth official, Matteo Marcenaro, why he's been sent off. I think Farris is doing likewise. It does mean Italiano will be suspended for Bologna's trip to Udine. He will be here in the dugout. Correa on the half turn. Now it's Pavard. This is promising for Inter. Still Pavard. Now Lautaro Martinez. Ravaglia hangs on.
Decisive touch from Lukumi, I think, because Lautaro spotted a couple of Inter players. I think Mkhitaryan surely.
In it comes from Carlos Augusto. Ravaglia came and missed it! It's off the post and Taremi is denied! But the whistle goes. There was a foul on Ravaglia, but just for a moment, Inter thought they were going to score at the Della from a goalkeeping error. Instead, they've been denied by Andrea Colombo's whistle, and I'm not sure that was a foul. Either way, Miranda with the most astonishing bit of defending.
Yeah, I'm not sure this is a foul, but please talk to me about this challenge by Miranda, because I'm not sure if this is a fantastic piece of defending. Would it be interesting to see what the referee was going to do if this ball was going to meet the net? But credit to Miranda. Look here, this is astonishing.
And then Ravaglia actually blocked the follow-up effort with his feet after that. Freuler, no one in the box. Holm. Cambiaghi was there, it came off his back. This is Miranda. Fratesi was brave. Cambiaghi now. Lautaro working hard defensively. Cambiaghi's got away here and found a cross. Too high for Castro. Still there for Bologna. Tossed in by Holm. Cambiaghi! Never looked like he was going to hit the target.
Always a danger when he comes on.
Cambiaghi. Bisek matching him stride for stride. Miranda's cross. They want a penalty for handball there. Most of the Dalla. Berkema. This is Orsolini. Freuler asking the question. You can be sure the footage is being reviewed by Rosario Abisso in Lissone. Nicely done by Berkema. Again, it's into the mixer. Cambiaghi now. Miranda on the overlap. Good looking ball in. Carlos Augusto away, Fabian there. So to Moro, that's home. And Sommer is able to collect.
Again, Carlos Augusto, look here. This is the accent they are talking about. They're gonna watch it again if it's a arm ball or a chest touch by Carlos Augusto.
.90 seconds remain of added time. Miranda's ball in, doesn't beat the first man. Fratesi gets distance. And now Simone Inzaghi asking his players, imploring them to push up. Inter would be delighted at this stage with a draw. To their credit, they have known which matches they can draw this season. You can't win them all. Drew against Bayern when they had a first leg lead. Drew against Milan knowing they could win the tie in the second leg. They could afford one draw down the stretch, provided Napoli were to win all their games. But it's not done yet. Miranda with the long throw. Bisek has flicked it to Orsolini! Bologna have won it, deep into added time. Orsolini collecting the assist from Bisek. It is a goal which is huge for Bologna in the race for Champions League football. But it is a goal which is massive for Napoli, watching further south. Because the two teams are going to be level on points with 5 matches remaining. There seemed no danger with the long throw, but that is Bologna's top scorer for you. Flawless technique with the scissor kick. And Bologna at the della are devastating.
Patrick, what a goal by Orsolini, and this place is absolutely rocking. Long throw was made in Bisek with his late header. Orsolini, fantastic technique, and again he's producing something magic to win 3 points for the Italiano's troop. And this can end up Inter Scudetto's dream, we don't know. But this is simply astonishing.
Inter have terrible memories of the della from the 2022 season. Milan pit them to the Scudetto then. Bologna have surely now inflicted another defeat on Inter here, down the stretch in the title race. Orsolini, the second half substitute, with seemingly the winning goal. Fabian wins the flick on, Santiago Castro after it. The table changes once again, but it could yet shift once more. No foul on Taremi. 71 points the pair, and Bologna have beaten the champions. Simone Inzaghi trying to avoid some of his players getting sent off, but Orsolini overcome by the emotion. He'll be a hero in Naples tonight, as well as Bologna. But Italiano's side bounced back from their loss in Bergamo. And with 5 matches remaining, we are in for quite the title race in the Italian top flight. Napoli won at Monza. Bologna have beaten the Nerazzurri. And we'll leave you with the final score once more. The deadly della for the Nerazzurri. It ends Bologna 1, Inter 0.